I spoke to them and they said that let's talk about something that everyone's talking about but no one understands. So I said, yeah, this is the best idea. Let's do this, which is understanding what AI does in content marketing and what role does it play. But before I dive into the specifics of what AI does, I just wanted to ask everyone in this room this question. I hear this a lot. I hear this a lot in a lot of rooms by agencies, by clients, by people who are working in those places, that this is what's going to happen eventually. That artificial intelligence in some way or the other is going to lead to a slow but inevitable death of what we today call the digital agency. The idea of, making creatives and all of that stuff. Everything is getting automated. So then what does this entity do, right? I mean, how many of you here agree with this statement? Okay, great. Anybody else? And it's okay. I mean, if you agree with it, there's always a difference of opinion. But anybody who agrees, anybody else? There's one gentleman there. All right, okay. Here's what I feel. And this is what I want to explain to you with an example, right? Let's say you're a brand, correct? And you hire an entity to basically create something. Why don't we think of, I want to create a brand that has a mascot as a squirrel, right? Just hypothetically throwing it out there. Now, the question that comes up is, somebody in this room will imagine squirrels like this. A bunch of happy family squirrels who've come together, enjoy themselves, eat and be merry, right? Somebody will imagine themselves as a loner squirrel who's happy, sagacious, sits in his own world and enjoys himself. And somebody might imagine them like this angry squirrel. I think this may look oversimplified, but actually, according to me, is the difference between will we survive the AI revolution or not. Each of these, correct, will get easier to make. The process might get simpler. But what do you do? How do you choose this? How do you get here? Is going to be a human expression. And somewhere down the line, the moment we decide and understand that this is what AI is going to enable versus looking at it like an enemy, you're going to start having a lot more fun with it. We just had a whole session on meme marketing. I mean, if you think about it, the whole idea of making memes, in fact, the first slide was, when I was reading it, that it was cumbersome to make creatives. It's getting easier, which means that if I tell you today that you should have 365 creatives a year, doesn't sound impossible anymore. And I think that's where we start need to understanding what is AI going to do for us. And I think which is why it's important to understand in the current scenario, and I think my hypothesis is for the foreseeable future, this is what AI can do in the realm of marketing. Because at the end of the day, something that Mr. Pandit said, Dr. Pandit said in the beginning, we are talking to humans as humans. Somewhere that has to be factored into this entire thing. So what can AI do? It can help you automate. Yes, fantastic. It has some of the best tools and we'll go through some of them. It can help you synthesize in a way that you've never done before because the sheer amount of data that it can understand and bring you back qualitative answers, fantastic. It can retrofit. You can actually take references of what your other brands across the globe, across the industry, parallel industries are doing. It can help you do that as well. It can help you recreate things as well. It can help you get inspired. You can get very, very inspired by seeing this is what I do, this is what I can't do. It can help you optimize as well. But what it can't do, AI today can't empathize. It can't look at another entity in a scenario and say, okay, this is how this one must be feeling. Maybe if I speak to them in this language, I'll get an answer. It beyond a point cannot innovate or take radical departures because it doesn't know that doesn't exist. There's a very famous scene in a movie called, I don't know if you've seen it, called La La Land, where this guy wants to open a jazz club in the middle of LA where people are saying nobody wants to listen to jazz. And he said a very interesting line. And I think that's so relevant to what AI does today. He said, people don't know what they want until they have seen it. They don't know. If I told you 5 years ago, when electronic dance music had taken over the world, that there will be this one man who will have a very feeble, almost frail voice, who will fill up stadiums, and his name will be Pratik Kuhad, you would have laughed at me. You would have said, you're an idiot, you don't know the future. But the truth is, we don't know the future because as humans, we are also evolving. We've somewhere down the line, I think we feel as humans, we have discounted the fact that we evolve still, and we continue to do so. And it is important for us to have that faith that we're going to do it. And most importantly, it can't provide you conviction. I can give you 20 creatives today. Tell me, how will AI give you conviction that it's a good idea? That's human. That's your choice to make. Finally, you can do a lot of, I used to hear a lot of startups come to me. I am the Uber of dry cleaning, right? Or I am the Ola of maid servants or things like that, right? When you want to start differentiating, you have to start looking at departing from where you are. Those differentiators, beyond a point, AI cannot sit there and make you decide, this is my differentiator. So, both, as an employee or as a business, if you're in the first set, if your task today is only to make sure that I am going to automate things for you, you're in trouble because someone's coming for that job. And it's not even a human. If your job is only to optimize, you're in trouble. If your job is only to make it convenient, you're in trouble. But if your job is in any of these departments, you're always going to be a desired resource, a desired entity in any form that we take up, right? So if I look at it as a tool, right, because this is what I conclude my thought process on, is AI the end of how we know the world as? No. But if I look at it as a tool, I see 3 very distinct verticals in which it can perform. And today, I hope everyone has their phones here, because I'm going to, for each of these, right, put out some of, and by the way, as of today, there are lesser Ubers getting booked in India as compared to the number of AI tools getting launched every week. You will get tired of keeping track of them. So what we have done at our end, and as a company, which is what we do, is that I've actually listed down a bunch of AI tools that you can just take screenshots of right now, try them out. I'm not saying this list is exhaustive, I'm not saying this list is comprehensive, but at least it's a good start for anybody who wants to start thinking about how do I add this skill set into my world, right? And as companies, how do I bring it alive, right? So we're going to go one by one. So let's start with the first one, which is create. We all know that AI can help you create things, right? But I don't think we know the capacity, the ability, and the variety of things that it can help you create. So I feel like let's start with the simple ones. I come from a time where digital was called new media. When I studied my MBA, there was a course which was called New Media, and it would teach us how to use websites for marketing. I come from a time where pagalguy.com was the only way to get references about college life, right? I don't think you guys exist in that world. But even today, the way you build a website has changed so dramatically. It used to require some serious amount of expertise going into it. Wix ADI, you don't even need to know code. You don't even need to understand how code works. There are fantastic templates made. You can start working, make your own website, and you're done. You're ready. It's not problematic anymore. So, will this allow for, will websites go out of fashion? No. Will websites stop looking different? No. Will there be more websites? The answer is yes. So, I think we have to start thinking about it like that no one is going to give you a job because you can make a website. I think you'll start looking at it when you start saying that I have made this website using this and it took me just half an hour. That's your job. That's how you crack this interview. That's how you can tell a brand saying, I have a campaign for you in which we will be creating a website every day. And previously you'll be like, how do you do that? I'm like, Totally can. And so Wix ADI, Divi AI, and Framer. Framer is slightly more complicated than the other two, but Framer requires some degree of sort of getting used to. But the other two are just so simplistic to make that if you haven't tried, has anybody tried any of these in this room? Wix, correct. So Wix is a platform I think we've tried, but Wix ADI, the way it sort of amplifies, puts your creativity on like turbocharge is amazing, right? So I think if nobody has tried, please definitely do try these. Logos. Again, we discussed advertising a while back. My God, if somebody had in 2010 told me I need 6 more samples, that's my weekend. That's my entire weekend. Today, I can enter a room and say, I'm going to present to you 80 options of this logo. Tell me which one you like. I feel like in this world, we are in what I call the cereal aisle problem. There's just so much choice that you're going to eventually find it difficult to start saying, I like this. That's when human interaction comes in. What do you suggest? What is your point of view? So let's not confuse a plethora of options with the death of choice. I don't think that's true. Color scheme, again, it's one of those things that I remember back in the day. It used to be such a, lack of a better word, like a tukka, like, oh wow, this color looks great. Wow. No, why? Today, if you want to win a debate, use it to win a debate. Saying this is how the color wheel looks when I do it this way. This is how the color wheel looks when I do it this way. It is so interesting that we can now make interesting decisions. You can sound interesting. You can have a large amount of, how do I put it? Like you're just being so amazingly talented when you are available to make options so quickly. The value of that to a marketer is infinite. Images, I don't know, how many of you have used Midjourney? Correct, there you go. It can shock you, but all of these people who've used Midjourney will tell you one thing. The result is as good as the prompt. Who's giving these prompts? We are. I imagined that squirrel as an angry one. By the way, all those images were made on Midjourney in exactly 30 seconds. 30 seconds it took me to make those images, and all I had to type was, angry squirrel eating walnut. That's all I did. But to think of that, I need a squirrel which is eating a walnut and is angry, it's not going to be something that is going to get prompted to you. One of the most desired profiles today internationally is that of prompt engineers. If someone can come in and prompt AI, you're there. You're absolutely in the thick of exactly what, let's say, coders were when apps were cool. I don't know if they are anymore, but I just think so. So again, Midjourney, DALL-E, these are some fantastic tools. I think the inertia of the fact that we've all heard of this, right? How many have heard of these names? You've heard of Midjourney, you've heard of all of these names that I'm just putting out here. There you go, Midjourney, you would have heard these names. And you're saying, oh my God, AI is going to take my job. How is it? There has to be some proof to that evidence. Yes, someone who knows Midjourney will take your job. That I can guarantee you. Video. Oh my God. So we are a company that essentially does a lot of branded content. We do a lot of content for OTT platforms. And trust me if I say, if there's one thing that I'm grateful to the AI revolution is how easy they have made making videos. It's fantastic. You can just throw in a dump of videos, it figures out what needs to be done. Then you keep tweaking around with it, those are choices you make. But the amount of laborious work that would go to line up an edit, gone. Gone. Which means I can do more work now. So if we were in a world which says that I'm going to do X number of creatives a week, let me assure you that that's not going to be that for a long while. You'll end up start doing a lot more. But will it be bonded labor? No, you'll actually have more fun doing it because there's so much more you can use to make them. Blogs. I remember one of the coolest jobs back when the internet 2.0 was really cool was writing content blogs. You would have had so many friends say, I am a travel blogger. Do you know how easy it is right now to give you an itinerary for 10 days to any location in this world? And I don't need to be a travel blogger. But the question is, would you now then want to know, since you have this generic information, what's special? What's off the beaten path? Is there some interesting experience that I can get that you have been to? Right? Sonic and Copy.ai help you create fantastically SEO optimized, relevant, publishable, straight to word. I mean, you name it. It's done. The question now is, what are you going to blog about? Because if you're going to go down the same road, I remember this because we were also, when I used to head branded content at MTV, people would come to us and say, we would write 30 blogs per week for you. I'm like, I can write it in a day. Now if those pitches come to you, would you take them? No, you won't. And so if you're thinking that I'm a great blog writer or I'm a great content writer because I can collect information, you're in trouble. Because information to hai. That's available now. And somebody else can write it for you in a tone that is very brand centric or, fixes the brand. That's not the question anymore. Customized messaging. I remember this used to be such a task at some point in time where I have to write specific messages to specific people at specific time through the sales funnel. Easy. Now if you look at this slide and you wonder, if I just try these tools, how much time will I save? I think the answer lies, that's the question that's going to be asked of you as you go along. How much more can we do? And so it's like debating the car versus the horse carriage. It's not fair. The horse carriage is, now the question is not, is the horse carriage better or is the car better? The question is, how far can we go? How fast can we go? So I don't think the question arises today, does that make drivers out of jobs? No. I don't think so. You still have drivers, you still need them. But the question is, this skill switching that's happening is what's causing all this fear. So I think we need to absorb this fear and understand how can I utilize this for myself. Some more options, and I'm just putting these out here because this is just the realm of AI where we've used all these tools, where you can now measure audience sizes. We used to think of A/B testing as one of the most delaying process between making creatives and launching them because you're going to start, evaluating it. It can be done in a couple of days now, right? Qualitative insights, which is your data set, them finding out what are the qualitative aspects of this audience that you have and the information you have about them giving out all this information to you. And best part, competition analysis. Something we only used to take wild guesses on, now is far more available as information, right? All of this will help you compare. Like so I said, how you create, you compare. This coefficient thing, which is to conclude essentially and make really cool decisions. Try coefficient is an extension on Google Chrome. I don't know how many of you have used it, but please do. You will get shocked with the amount of decision making it enables you with. Punting, taking a wild guess, my view versus your view. Now it's going to be very clearly be able. Answer Rocket is literally you submitting your input into this and asking it questions like you would ask a human being. The answers you get along are interesting. What you do about them is still up to you. Completely up to you. Some more honorable mentions. I love this guy. I don't know if you've ever tried this, but please do. Product shots, I'm sure you will agree. Product shots, taking like what we call essentially shots of products that you use on social media across backgrounds. Just do that for your phone using clad.ai. You'll be shocked how easy it is. So yes, there would be photographers who would come and say, I specialize in product shoots. You can't anymore. You have to specialize in unique ways of doing product shoots. That's when you will win. You can't win this if your answer is, I'm going to put it on a white background with a little bit of confetti and I'll make a photograph. I can make it online. Try Animaker, your animated videos. There were agencies that existed saying, we expertise in animation videos. And this is just the start. The Animaker, I'm sure, like I said, this is not an exhaustive list. These are tools I have tried. I'm sure there are much better tools than this that are currently getting made or are made and I'm not aware of. Because you have to accept the fact that this is going at a far greater pace than anyone can keep up with. Right? And I'm going to leave this with you. Please try all of them, and it's a lot of fun to play around. I want to mention Gamma because I see a lot of students here. Haven't done your assignment? Want to give a presentation tomorrow? Go to Gamma. Write your topic. The way people are smiling over here, like, shit, he's telling everyone's secrets out. But no, seriously, as educators, if you don't know that this is what kids are going to do, don't test them for time now. They'll figure it out. They'll figure it out. I'm sure everybody in this room has heard of ChatGPT, no? How many of you have used it? Wow. Everybody has used it? You know how strong it is, right? It is so strong that the fastest growing AI industry of the last quarter was the industry that catches plagiarism due to ChatGPT. There are softwares and tools getting created to understand, is this plagiarized? So guys, sorry, if you guys, this party is going to end soon, is what I feel. But anyways, point is Gamma. The amount of time we would spend, now think of it from a point of view of as an agency, as a client, as anybody, how many proposals can you make now? Infinite. Go for it. What is that proposal? What is it going to be inside that? Difficult. That is you. That is all you. So don't misuse or don't mistake Gamma for your replacement. Gamma is the best gift you could have gotten if that's what your job asks for. And so how do you get started? How do you get even started in this entire journey of doing this? I have always felt any dramatic revolution in this thing is a top-down acceptance. The change is top-down. The championing is bottom-up. Always. Someone on top has to say, I'm okay with this change. And then the world below champions it in a way that the top guy could have never thought of. And I've seen this happen again and again and again. You can do this with social media, meme marketing, everything. Somebody on top has to say, you know what, go for it. When you made those Virgin ads, somebody on top said, you know what, this 10-second back and forth is going to be interesting, let's try it. The way the team below then champions it makes it epic. So I think this encouragement of experimentation is so crucial because it will really, and it makes a lot of business sense. That's the other thing I want to say. AI makes a lot of business sense. It has a direct impact on your margins. It has a direct impact on your turnaround times. It has a direct impact on how many clients you can impanel. So it is important to do this. We have done this in our company, and I think this is something that everybody, use one tool per project. Just one. So let's start from there. Let's make one tool, make it mandatory. It could be as simple as emails will be sent with an AI tool. Simple as that. Or all creatives for social media will be made by Pebbly. I don't know. I'm just saying have one tool per project which is AI enabled and then reward the best usage. Because what you're telling people then is essentially that, hey, listen, you know what? Not only did I like that you did it, it really made a difference. The application, as an organization, everybody will learn multiple number of tools, multiple number of ways of doing it, the right use cases for what kind of things, limitations, trends, which I'm sure they do have. But it is what we need to learn. And then start including. You know what most people say? I had a lot of chat with agency heads. I can't include it in an already established workflow. Don't. Do step 1, 2, 3 first. Do it. You have time. Nothing is running away. If in this room, 85% people have not even seen half those logos, we have time. I can guarantee you that. Also, those tools are still nascent. There's obviously going to be incremental experimentation in those tools itself. So we have time. But this inclusion in work, everyone jumps into this point number 4. How do I include it? What about the other things? Where did that happen? When is someone going to learn all this? And then start creating stack flows. And I don't know if you know what stack flows are, but quickly telling you, these tools can stack on top of each other. The AI tools that I just mentioned to you, they can stack on top of each other, and you can essentially create a stack of AI, which basically one thing enters and then what you want comes out at the end, right? With minimal human intervention. The day you get to this point, then the only thing valuable to you will be your thought, because the stack will do the rest. How far are we from it? I don't know, maybe 3 years, maybe 4 years, maybe 2, I don't know. I can definitely tell you this, it will be faster than the last revolution in any technology that you saw. It's fast, it is happening really quickly. There's a lot of effort in this direction. So getting here is a task, but we need to go through an XYZ number of things to do to get here. I finally want to conclude this because I heard this from someone a long time ago, and I think it's so interesting that we think, if you start thinking of it like this, AI will do to content marketing what UPI did to banks. And you know what it is? Lesser banks, more banking. We do a lot more banking transactions today than we did before. Just that they don't look like the transactions that we used to do before. Every UPI transaction requires a bank. You need a wallet. Where is all that coming from? It requires that guy. But I think if we start thinking of it like this, that we're going to start having lesser, convenience-based things, but we'll do more, I think that's what AI will do to marketing. And that's me, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you.